All right, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Yhamish Presents. I am Yhamish McCrotch, and today I have David Lee Williams, aka William Squiare, or Square, or whatever the hell he wants to call himself. It's something, I don't know, whatever we want to call it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. And, of course, in this show, we're going to be talking about, of course, Spring War. Spring War just happened. Just got done with that. If you decided to, or if you couldn't make it, or if you decided to boycott it, you missed quite a bit of an event. I thought it was one of my favorite Spring Wars that I've been to in a long time. And not just including, you know, receiving my masterhood. Okay, so it's not just biased over that. But I had a good time at Spring War. Worked my ass off, but I tell you what, I had a lot of fun doing it with the people I was doing it with. So there we go. So anyway, so why don't we go ahead and get started with the emotionalist William Squiare. There we go. We got a little bit of a laughter out of him. He's still breathing. And make sure I didn't have to call paramedics in here. Just have hook a set of strap a set of paddles to his chest, and every time he starts to move, just hit the button. Be shocking. A shocking video right here for everybody. Plus, we're also going to talk about, you know, what's going on with Kingdom Qualls and the bombings that are happening in Austin and how they could be affecting CK Qualls as well. And we got updated information as well about the ban that happened to Mr. Tim Grabowski in Crystal Groves. So, oh, and also shameless plugs for that other event that's going to be happening in a couple of weeks. So anyway, so I'm going to hand the floor over to you, Mr. Squiare, Squitter, whatever. Introduce yourself to the people that are watching Yhamish Presents tonight, and tell them a little bit about yourself.
William Squiare. I'm a TI of the Saracens. Very, very proud of the Saracens. Saracens?
Saracens.
I am a member of It's Cossacks, right?
Yes, you were in the Cossacks tribe.
Yes. I've been playing Amtgard for 4-ish years, I want to say.
4-ish.
I lose track exactly how long it's been. My year times it's confusing. I've had a lot of things go since then. A lot of drinking since then.
Okay.
Go
ahead. Don't worry about things that happen on the computer screen. Random shit happens on the computer screen.
I'm not sure, really.
That's weird. I'm just now getting the notification. And my Facebook live feed says goodbye. So I think what we're going to have to do is probably just shut down the Facebook live feed. I mean, hit OK and see what happens. Because it keeps coming up saying with this little window, yeah. So we're just going to go ahead and not do the Facebook feed. Wow, we've gone total blurry. So there you go. So 4-ish years, you played Murky Waters. Well, you did play Murky Waters. You're leaving for, what, North Carolina in the morning, right?
Yes, I will be back, though. Most definitely will be back. I don't know where I'm going to be.
But not at the end of the week, like we'd expect you to show up at our doorstep in
no,
about a weekend. No.
It's probably going to be more like around the middle of next month. And I'm going to be in the
I'll
area.
be in Mississippi, so I don't have to worry about it.
I'll be in the area until I'm going to be going to do a training in California. I should be leaving on the 5th of May to head out that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. All right, so you're going to go do a training in California. What are you going to do with your life?
I'm going to be a renewable resource technician.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to work for the Department of Natural Resources. That's what they all start off with. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go work on this shit and that shit, and it's going to be grand. Next thing you know, you're sitting in a fucking office pushing papers for the Department of Natural Resources. Finding assholes like me because I work on cars in my driveway and spill oil on the ground. That's what he's going to turn into. Okay, they all start off with a passion, and it's not where it ends. So anyway, you were at Spring War. And Surreal's making the rounds on the page about, hey, the GBU, you're good, you're bad, you're ugly. So let's get your good, bad, and ugly of Spring War.
Well, let's see. I most definitely say the battle games I did get the chance to play in were extremely thought out, and I actually really highly enjoyed them. some of the better battle games I've had a chance to play at a Kingdom or higher level event. Usually they're just really mass chaos and really hard to get things going.
So you're saying that Sir Michael Warhammer of God did a good job?
A damn amazing job at these battle games. I 100% say probably one of the better events I've been to for battle games.
Amtgard is an amazing human being, period.
Yes.
He's an amazing person.
I did get a chance to see part of the women's tournament. I was slightly disappointed on how they were going about doing that. What I saw is just like two people would run up, hey, have I fought you? No, let's fight. It just seemed sort of like chaotic on how they were getting the fighting done.
I didn't get a chance to see it, and the reason why I didn't get a chance to really go down and be a part of any of the battle gaming or anything like that, besides working in the kitchen, was I'm allergic to hay. And every time I went down on the battlefield, which I went down there a couple times, I had to, the short period of time that I was down there, my skin would start itching real bad, and I was having problems breathing. And the last thing you need is a dead Yhamish out on the field. Although you can make it an interesting NPC prop. You know, here, drag this to point A. I'll guarantee you're not holding weapons. You know. But yeah, so no, I couldn't. I couldn't get down to the field, so I didn't get a chance. But the only complaint I heard about people when talking about the battle game stuff, because I didn't get to go down there for them, the only complaint I heard from people in the battle games was they didn't have enough time to take a break. It was like every 15 minutes there was another game. So it's like they wanted to leave the field, go back up, and they couldn't go back up. So, you know, that was the only complaint I heard. So, okay, so that's your good. So was the women's tournament bad then?
Yeah, I would say that's like the only really thing I saw that really was bad to me. And really ugly? I mean, I didn't really say anything that was too ugly. I mean, I was surprised that there wasn't any dumpster fires in the middle of this. Seems like every other event we've had so far, there's been a dumpster fire somewhere.
Well, I heard rumor about that.
Really?
Yeah. That there was a certain fighting company that boycotted the event, and that's what some people are contributing to there being the lack of a dumpster fire.
Huh.
I don't know. Just rumor. Just a rumor. Whether or not that was the case or not. Okay, according to the Dark Empress, soon to be, or could be, running for office for Monarch, she says that there was 3 different dumpster fires that took place that she saw. I was not aware of it, but then again, I will say that Dame Rose and Plague worked me into the ground, so I didn't get to see a lot. In fact, I fell asleep at Saracen Circle twice. That's how Saracen City twice. You know, while sitting here talking to the old man McFadden, I passed out on him. Not because I was drunk, I was just fucking tired, which is what I should be. But so okay, so that's good. So the there was no real ugly to it.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that solid point. My good, bad, and ugly of Spring War. Dun dun dun. Because I promised Surreal I would do it on the show. I don't know if Surreal's watching or not. Surreal never chimes in the chat room. However, Tim wants to. That's Rowan, right? Yeah. Wants to know the Rogues did not come to Spring War. Now, there's all kinds of rumors as to why. That somebody's feelings were hurt. That this kingdom treated somebody like shit. I don't know that that's for certain. Why? Because I haven't talked to the man. I can't confirm it. But I've heard it. That's what I heard from a few people during the event. Is the reason why they didn't show up is because our former monarch was treated like shit and decided they were going to pull their whole company. Like I said, it's merely a rumor. There was shit tons of rumors floating around. I could do an entire show just off the rumors I heard alone at Spring War. Which I don't want to because we've got enough problems in the kingdom right now trying to figure out exactly what we're going to do this weekend. I don't need to add to it. Godmo did bring up the fact that getting to watch me break down when I was getting my Master Rose because, we'll go into that story in a minute because, of course, I'm going to want to talk about that. No, I didn't wear the hood, but I had the hood in my pocket, and just the whole moment of everything, I thought, seriously, I had it in my mind that if it was going to happen, because I'd heard a rumor that it was going to, but I did not know for certain that this was going to happen. And of course, once they started the knighting ceremony, I figured, well, no, it's not. I had it in my pocket, and I was thinking about, as soon as they were done announcing it, I was going to pull it out, stick it on my head. That didn't happen. So anyway, my good, my bad, my ugly. Okay. The good about it was just a general overall ambient feeling with everybody around. Everybody seemed to be having a good time. Everybody, the people were sitting there socializing with each other, having a great time and enjoying themselves. We had lots of people that I've never met before in my life that showed up to Saracen City and were hanging out, and it was just cool. There was nobody being asshats, trying to challenge anything at least at our camping area, or being dicks when we told them, because we had a bunch of people show up while we were doing our circle Saturday night, and we told them, said, hey, we're having our circle meeting, and this is a company thing, and they were all cool about it, and they went off and waited until we were done. A lot of people just socializing and having a good time. I've heard, for me, the way the feasts ran, it did run good. I made a mistake by not running 2 serving lines, and I will never make that mistake again in an event that size. Every time I've ever done feasts for a major event, even the 2 other times I've done feasts for Spring War back in the day, first of all, we didn't have the capability of doing 2 serving lines. We didn't have the room for it. Second of all, I was the one cooking. I wasn't the one running the feast line. This is the first time I've run a feast line during an event. So this is the first time I run a feast line ever. So you know what? I was ill-equipped to handle that, and I apologize to everybody who had to wait fucking ridiculous amounts of time to get their food. Okay, that was my bad. I didn't think that went through. So I think the ugly would be the wait line to get your feast would have been my ugly, but I'm jumping ahead. But yeah, actually that wasn't the ugly. I got something that's uglier than that. And it's not me. It's actually uglier than me. But so the good was the overall, what seemed like the ambiance of everybody at the event, seemed to make it really good. Everything. Yeah, there was some scheduling conflicts, stuff like that with certain things, and yeah, people complained they didn't hear. I can tell you right now, I heard every single thing that they would go around and announce was happening. Okay, I heard about the ANS class. I heard about the sword making class. I heard about the drawing class. I heard about it all. So I don't know where people did not hear the announcements being made about the classes. Okay, because I've heard that complaint today. I've heard that the brisket was really dry, and that was their big complaint. They thought the brisket was horrible. I ate some of that brisket. I don't know what part of the brisket you ate, but mine wasn't. Mine fell apart. Bianca says down on the field. I'm not responsible for that, because you guys all knew when each feast was being served, because I made it a very big point to go around and around and around and around to let everybody know. I drove into campsite saying, hey, I'm serving feast in like 10 minutes. But like I said, I don't know what people are complaining about the brisket being dry. I don't get it. But like I said, I've seen that my brisket was really dry. Well, I got there late because we were still cleaning up the kitchen. Like I said, I don't know, because I was the last person to eat. Legitimately, I was the very last person to eat. And my brisket was fine. So I'm not sure, what happened. But if the brisket was dry for you, then I'm sorry, and we'll work on that better next time. But I think the bad was the line for main feast, which is my fault, because that was my responsibility. So that was my bad. That line was insanely long. I had to go around and do my best politicking with people to try and pass the time and everything else, and so that I apologize for. My ugly, and I had to do quite a bit of politicking with miners on Friday. I went down to the Carnival to check it out, and a bunch of miners had been told as long as they were there with an adult, they were perfectly fine and they could get to play the games and stuff like that. Well, they were down there. They were trying to play the games, and then they got told they had to leave, and they had tickets on them that they had already earned, and then they couldn't spend it because one of them even said, I said, well, can I just go ahead and buy something with the tickets I got and be done with it? And they got told they had to leave right away. I dealt with a bunch of red bands being upset. I got to deal with a bunch of them that were like 19 and 20. They got kicked out because they didn't even get. They tried to say, "Well, I'm 20. I got my ID." They got told they had to leave, and having to deal with that Friday night, no, and I get that, Bianca, it wasn't your call, and that's been floating around the Kingdom page over who's at fault for this, who's not at fault. But I had to go around Friday night and dealing with a lot of them being upset. And, of course, as soon as I see a person that's upset, I immediately go to them and say, hey, what's the matter? What can we do to make, what can I do right now to make this a better experience for you? And that was the thing. It was like, well, we were down there playing the games, and then they told us suddenly we were told we could be there with adults, and then we were told no. We were told that if they had a red band, they had to leave because the alcohol sponsor. We tried to explain it. They were told they could get food or ditch if the parents were not there. Corsairs had 4 minors collectively, and they were either spent that Friday night in camp or walking through the vendors. Yeah, see, and it was a confusion because you had one group of security was saying no, they're cool. The next set of security saying no, they're not. What I suggest, this is my recommendation, being somebody who's worked in the entertainment industry off and on for a lot of years, okay? Do it just like if you have a pool hall with a bar. There is a clear marked off area that minors cannot pass that point. So if you're serving alcohol at a location, okay, then they cannot cross a certain line. Okay? So, and I can't read whatever that notification comment. They can't cross that line. So, like, you put up caution tape and say, okay, now people take alcohol outside of that caution tape. That's not on you. That's on the individual carrying the alcohol at that point. Yeah, I was told that because of the vodka sponsor, only 21 plus could enter. It was completely BS. We wanted everyone to come and play. Like I said, it's a whole bunch of misinformation floating around over what is what. Okay? You mark off an area and say, this is a designated area for the adults to come purchase the alcohol. Okay? Once the adults carry the alcohol past the line, it's no longer our responsibility because we had it clearly posted. And that's what the law says. That it has to be clearly designated an adult area only. Okay? Once the adults cross that line, there's nothing you can do because if they say that's a problem, and oh no, that's not legal, then we have to bar drinking in campsites. Because now the minors can't be the campsites when you crack open a beer. Okay? So if you're serving alcohol, you have a clearly marked off area that's designated. The minors can't go past that, but they can still go play in the games. They can still go out on the field and ditch. They can still purchase the food. And that would solve that problem. So I think next year, what we need to do, what we need to do next year is we need to do that. We need to have the alcohol designated in a certain area. So the alcohol, we could do do basically like a Pirate's Cove for the adults, which is where your alcohol is, and it's clearly marked off. You have your game area and your food area where the minors can go, which also includes being allowed to go to the ditch field. And I think that will work out great. I think that would be an awesome thing. What do you think?
Actually, that would be great because
I just woke him up.
I've been listening. I just didn't want to interrupt you because
you can trust. This is I
have the problem. I don't like interrupting people when they're saying something because it feels rude.
No, it's not exactly rude when we have a dialogue, because if you have an idea that comes up while I'm talking, and say, hey, what about this? Then I'm going to stop what I'm doing because otherwise I'm going to go on for an hour talking.
I do admit, though, that even though it is sort of messed up...
I think I just got kicked out of Fox 7 Austin for my comment I made during the live bombing feed because I posted in there, welcome to Afghanistan. And I put that on their line, and I think that's their comment to me going, you're no longer allowed to post comments on our live feeds again. This won't be the first time. This is like the third time I'm getting kicked off. But anyway, that's for another thing. So anyway, but what do you think? You think that would work out if we could do that? Because
it would really work out because, like, I know Xavier was really upset because
my son, yes,
he ended up handing me I think 9 tickets, and I was like, oh, okay, but I sort of felt at the same time that
I got handed a bunch of them.
He should be able to use them.
Yeah, and I'm his dad. Yeah, I'm his dad. I was down there, and he got kicked off the field. And I wasn't necessarily down there to escort him because all Xavier originally wanted to do was just ditch. And then he went and did some of the game. So I was down there chilling out. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, they're doing alcohol over here. So this is my impression is going off the law. They're doing alcohol over here. So you go play those games. If you got to get next to where the alcohol is, just come get me. And then next thing I know, he was gone. I'm like, the fuck just happened? I go back up to Sarah City and he's sitting up there pissed off. He's madder than hell. And I can't say to blame him. He came all the way from Nevada to be at this event. I mean, his mother flew him to Spring War to be here at this event. You know, and he got barred from, you know, they were able to get free food if the kids weren't with the parents. Like arm's reach, we were told to make sure they leave. I love your Spring War. I love my leather Texas belt favor. LOL. I clarified that they were allowed with parents escort and pass that around to the vendors and such. He was not told right away that he had to be within arm's length reach of me because all he was doing at that point was ditching. He was just down ditching, and he got kicked out. So, I don't know. Like I said, there was a lot of misinformation on that because I was there down at the field even though I was having trouble breathing because I knew that he was eventually going to want to partake in shit that, you know, where I had to be right there with him. But he got kicked the hell out of there. So, like I said, there's a whole lot of miscommunication. Don't move the table because that microphone will pick up the sound of the table moving. But, you know, there was a lot of misinformation. And I think next year when we do this, let's take all the alcohol, put it in one spot, and mark it off that minors cannot pass this point. If they get caught passing this point, they're off the field. They can't be down there at all. And have the games and just the food elsewhere. Or, well, right there, but outside of that designated area. And then we're perfectly covered because if an adult takes it past the line and a minor gets a hold of it, we're not liable. Okay? We're not liable if an adult is stupid and lets a minor get hold of it. We're not liable for somebody else's fuck up. Because we did everything by law to stop it from happening. Okay? And that's what you have to make sure you do. That's the key word in that. We did everything by law to stop it. So there we go. All right, so that was my ugly. Because I don't like seeing people get upset like that. I don't mind talking to somebody when they're upset and trying to bring them down from that and understand. And I promise those minors that come next year, I will work with whoever to try and avoid an incident or something like this from happening again. So whoever wants to put in the bids for this stuff, if you want to talk to me and get my ideas and bounce things off of me on how we can prevent this from happening in the future, please by all means get in contact with me. And I will bounce ideas. I've been involved. I was raised in the liquor business. Okay. My family is 4 generations in this business. So we can bounce ideas all day long. Not a problem. All right. So that my outstanding of the event. Now here comes the biasness. Here comes the biasness now. This is completely biased. This is not fair reporting whatsoever. Put that moniker up right now. Was Distin getting his knighthood? Y'all thought I was going somewhere else. Which I am. No. Okay, I want to say congratulations to Episode, Distin, and Ranjara for earning their knighthoods and receiving the event. I will have to say, out of all the things, Distin's belt, gorgeous. That thing was beautiful. And I saw pictures on Facebook and was wondering, did a bunch of people work on that instead of just being one person? Because it seemed like a lot of people, worked on that. But that belt was gorgeous. I loved the belt. I thought the belt was amazing. I thought his tunic looked good, too. What do you think?
Actually, it was actually a really great tunic. Excuse me.
You were going somewhere with this.
I completely lost my train of thought there.
He was going somewhere with it. We're just not sure where. In another space, time, and dimension. He is boldly going where no man has gone before because no other man will ever go there. Why? Because that happens when you go there. Brett made it with very little help from Redneck. Man, let's just get Brett back on schedule. Oh, okay. But yeah, it was a very pretty tunic. I did like Distance tunic. I thought it was gorgeous. I thought his belt was gorgeous too. So Brett, awesome fucking job, brother. But yeah, no, I will say though. And then, God, I can never remember game name Virginia. Isidore getting her Master Dragon. Totally did not know it was coming. And well earned. Well earned. You know, let's see. What's his name got it? What, Master Unicorn? What was it?
Master Unicorn?
It was like Master Lightbringer or something.
Something.
Yeah, I was going to get to that, Bianca. I was going to get to that. That was on... Because I was going to talk about what she received.
That was I will say that was a very interesting way to do that, and I was thinking about just walking
Sable got
kill
the Grand Unicorn.
The Grand Unicorn.
Yeah, and they had like a little fight.
I was about to walk up there and just go behind everyone and just kill everyone.
I heard somebody did stab Sable in the back during that. I heard he got assassinated.
That's
in the process, and then somebody pulled a total Lord of the Rings. Or something like that. Or Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or something. I don't remember. Yeah, Crispin Small stabbed her in the back. So anyway, I will say Demonica, she got her Master Rose, very well earned as well. Long overdue. And I believe it was Gilzer that made it. It was the Annihilus symbol. I'm not quite sure. It had a handle in it. It looked like you could stab a bitch with that motherfucker and cut him hard. Right? But it was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. Very, very polished. Yes, Gilzer did make it. Thank you. Very gorgeous.
What is that?
You know, and I was looking at it because I had to call announcement, stop beer pong long enough for us to give her masterhood, and it's just, it was fucking awesome. It was beautiful. Now let's get to the other, and Malmoria got his Paragon Monster. Which
that was well deserved. well
deserved. If there was anybody, see, Bianca, I'm keeping up with it. Even though I was busy taking out the trash while we were doing court, because we all know. But you know, Malmoria again his Paragon monster, fucking well deserved. When does a man not dress in monster garb and play a monster correctly? I mean, my God, I already told Bubba. When we left Relic Quest, give that man a fucking Paragon. You know, I said that in a ride home, or the ride to the castle. I said that shit. Okay, I was like, give that man a fucking Paragon, dude. That guy is epitome playing a monster class. I mean, that's how monster classes should be fucking played. Nobody does that anymore. Nobody takes that kind of dedication to play a monster class. You know, it was amazing. I loved his Paragon scroll too. It was a brick wall broken out by one of the Super Mario. It was a Super
Bowser?
Mario villain.
It was Bowser.
Bowser, yeah. By Bowser. Sorry, it's been a long time since I've played Mario Brothers. There's been a lot of drinking between them. Okay, it's gorgeous scroll. Little scroll. It was absolutely beautiful. You know, but yeah, no, he's the epitome of playing a monster. I was emailing Armand about Malmoria's Paragon in his reign. Yeah, right? So, and then we come to... what do we come to? Yeah, there's this guy that got a master too. But anyway, let's talk about things that are going on in other places in Amtgard. We don't need to talk about that one guy. That guy, totally oblivious look on his face going in the crowd.
I'm pretty sure you've definitely earned that.
I see. The problem is you know, I used to think forever that I thought I've earned it, and then when I got it, I'm like, I haven't earned this shit. I just don't feel like I've earned it. I feel like there was more shit to do. By the way, if you wonder what I'm talking about, I did. Everybody's told me that I earned my Master Rose. 21 years of hard work and service in the game. I still don't feel like I've done enough to receive it. I feel like there's so much more I could have done and so much more I can do. So I now get to spend however long till somebody thinks I've earned something else to prove that y'all made the right decision to announce me as Master Rose. I will say my scroll was gorgeous. Absolutely perfect. I got it sitting on the wall already. Every time I look at it, I tear up. I will say that this is why I'd heard a rumor that it was happening. And as soon as they called Episode up for his knighting, by the way, his knight's chain is insane. Let me just tell you about his knight's chain real quick. It's ADD moment. Okay. Gold chain with black marbles inset inside of it. The thing is heavy, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Well, thank you, Mike. But anyway. So I was taking out the trash because me and Plague looked at each other and said, okay, well, we need to start going around and collecting trash. And I was like, hey, we need to collect trash. Fuck it, I'll just grab a bag. But anyhow, no, you know, the thing is Kill Mill, I've been told that it was happening, but the thing is I've been in this game for 21 years, okay? People have told me all kinds of shit. And I'm like, you know, when it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not gonna, you know, it's another Amtgard day if it doesn't happen. I still not gonna stop me from working. Still not gonna stop me from making this game better. So I was taking out the trash, and my bag got full, you know, as I was filling it up, and then they call Episode down for his knighting. Well, traditionally speaking, in the 21 years I've been in the game, in a court, once you start doing a knighting, that's it. There's nothing else that's going on. The knighting's happen, and it's over. And they had 3 of them. You know, so as soon as they called Episode down, I'm like, okay, so it's not going to happen. So I just went on about picking up the trash, and then the trash got too heavy, threw it over my shoulder. Went to walking in the back corner. They finished Episode's knighting. And next thing I know, people were yelling at me going, dude, they're paging you up front. And I'm like, well, I'm not getting knighted. So why the hell am I coming up to the court? I'm like, what have I done wrong? So I just come blah, 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 up the middle of the pike. And then I got about halfway down, and here's where this experience got trippy. I got about halfway down between the tables, and then the fucking crowd just erupted. And that has never happened to me in 21 years of this game. Not once. You know, not once in 21 years have I ever been called up and people started cheering before I got there. And it's the most amazing experience I've ever had in this game. Is getting halfway down and the crowd just goes nuts. And, you know, I was like, what the hell are you guys cheering for? And so I get down there and I take a knee, and let me tell you folks, when I took that knee, you have no idea how much I was screaming inside in pain. But I'm not going to just stand there, because I've seen people get big awards or get accolades and stand. I don't care if my legs are broken. I'm going to take a knee. I don't care. For me, it's a matter of respect. And so I took a knee, and, you know, and then that's when Brett started, you know, talking about it, and then announced me as a Master Rose. And as soon as he did, when I was first there, I was looking right at him. I was staring right at him, and I saw the plaque. I saw the scroll in her hands. I didn't get to see the scroll because he had it up against his chest. But as soon as he flipped the bitch around and he announced me as a Master Rose, dude, my head went straight down, and I just started bawling. You know, and realizing that 21 years of hard work, dedication, and effort to making this game better, you know, was coming to a head. And it was, and recognize it was hard to take in, and everything hit at the same moment, and then I just lost it. And I'll tell you that the day that I finally get to my knighthood, which doesn't mean I'm going to stop working either, because then I'm going to have to prove even more that y'all made the right choice. Somebody's going to have to pick me the fuck up. Somebody's going to have to pick me up, because, first of all, I'm one of those people that I believe in ninja knighting. I don't want to know. If I could tell my friends to you know, well, this is who Yhamish would want to be there kind of thing. I don't want to know in advance. I just don't. I want it to be a surprise when it happens. You know, but I'm going to tell you that if it does happen that way, and I'm not told, you know, then somebody's going to have to pick me the hell up off the floor. Because I'm going to fall. I'm going down. So have people standing by. Have an ambulance right outside the hall, because I'm probably going to have a heart attack. I know I've already had 3. You know, but Bubba, I'm glad that you were the one that gave it to me, because Spring War is my anniversary in the game. On Thursdays at Spring War is my anniversary date for the game, because my first official waiver I signed in 1997 at Spring War on Thursday. Because I didn't go Wednesday. I showed up Thursday with a bunch of people from the Harker Heights group. And, you know, and I signed a waiver right there on the site. So that's the official anniversary. Everybody likes to say, no, it was like 2 months later when he showed back up at Park again. No, my ass went to the field right after Spring War. So I couldn't go to Park right afterwards. But, you know, but anyway, it's an experience, and I'm really glad that a friend of mine that I've had for 21 years was the one that handed it to me. It meant a lot. It really did. You know, regardless of what anybody has to say about, you know, things that have gone on in the last couple months and everything else, it truly, truly meant a lot to me that my Master Rose came from my friend of 21 years. It really did. So there's no better way I could have received it. Really, truly, there isn't. So, I mean, everything was just perfect. And it crowd erupting in the background, and my friend handing me the title and everything else. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect, you know. So enough about me. Shit, fuck that. We can go on forever. Let's talk about what's currently going on in the kingdom right now. If you guys haven't been paying attention to the boards, of course, most of us are now aware that there is a serial bomber running around in Austin. Okay, well, this weekend is Kingdom Quals. So the problem is now we're looking at a situation of, is it a safe situation to hold quals in South Austin, where it seems like more than half of these incidents are happening towards the southern end of Austin than the northern end of Austin. I know that the champion of Slaughter Creek is currently working with law enforcement and discussing ways with them, and pretty much the response from law enforcement has been, be vigilant. There's no way we can send a team out to sweep the field before your event. And if you see anything that doesn't look like it's normally there, because you guys are there every single weekend, then report it immediately, which is, don't be a fucking hero. Okay? I will say that I understand that somebody made a joke earlier today about using a stick, but don't be stupid. Don't watch a YouTube video on how to sweep, you know, for explosives. Okay, that's how you die. If you want to die, that's how you die. Shut up.
I'm just saying, if you do want to die, make sure you put your life insurance policy out so that either me or him get it, or you could give us 50-50.
Put on your will that we receive it, and I will guarantee you that 75% of what you give us in the will is donated back to Amtgard. Because you died in Amtgard, so we will make sure that you get the kingdom gets 75% of what was in your will. The other 25% is going to go to us being on a cruise. Not gonna lie, we're gonna take 25% of it, go on a fucking cruise. Probably, you know. So, but the thing is understand something, okay? Okay. Just be careful. Okay, just be careful. If it don't look right, don't fucking touch it. If you got a wire across the trees, back up. If you step on something that goes click, don't move. The only thing I can give you as words of advice is don't fuck with it. Clear the area. Get everybody away. Call 911. Let the guys that are supposed to do the job. Because ain't none of y'all, unless somebody watching my show happens to be with the bomb squad, none of y'all work for the bomb squad. It's not your job. This is not one of those situations where you're going to be remembered as a hero. Okay? You're not. You're not going to be remembered as a hero. They're going to make fun of you afterwards when everybody gets over sad you're lost. You'll become the running joke. Okay? This is not a situation for that, and nor do I want to have any of my friends blown up over something stupid. Now, I want to make sure this is perfectly clear. It is a very extremely small chance that park will be a target. For whatever the reason this guy's targeting shit. But it doesn't mean that, oh, well, we don't think this place is going to be a problem, so.
There's a chance, I mean...
Because this guy is not specifically targeting anything, you're on the risk radar. There's no way around that.
Pretty much, I mean... How far has, like, the last one's been heading to it? Like, in distance, do we know how far? And maybe on distance from them?
No more than... I will tell you that they've been no more than 10 miles apart. You know, they've not been any more than 10 miles apart. Now, I understand that Austin is a very condensed area, which that leaves a large swath of land, but... Still... I mean, this because I will say this much. I'll go ahead and update you guys on this because everybody's worried about this latest one. This latest one at the Goodwill is not related to this. They've immediately come out and they've cleared that out. That the Slaughter and Brody was, yeah, there you go. Wasn't a bomb. It was a flare in a box. So somebody being an asshole. That's what that was. That's somebody being a jackass. That's literally what it is. Somebody said, hey, look at all the attention that's going on. Here, let's put a flare in a box. Okay? That's what that was. And somebody just being an asshat. Hopefully they catch that motherfucker and get him a felony. A big felony. Because since the feds are involved in this, it's a federal crime.
Yeah, yeah.
And the feds are going to be the one to get you, so you're going to do some serious time. You ain't going to go down the road for a couple days. Your ass going to a federal penitentiary now. But the thing is, you know, it's just, you know, hope that shithead chokes on his next Tide Pod. In the bathroom he couldn't figure out to go in. Sorry. It's insane that Austin, which has no real value of a target area, none whatsoever, is the target of a bunch of bombs from somebody who obviously has experience, but we don't need to talk about that on this show. What's your opinion, since I got you here, on that? Because of course they have a poll going about changing the venue. Given the circumstance and everything else, what's your honest opinion on changing the venue?
I would definitely say change it. I mean, there is a higher level of risk just because it's been in the general area. And personally, I've came this close to stepping on a 302 grenade. The LMTV we're riding with was this far from it. As soon as I notified my chain of command, they're like, get this fucking vehicle and all this shit out of here. We don't want that thing to go off. It's like this big. Little grenade. The explosive they used to take this out, we heard like 2 miles down the road.
But so you're literally this close from your mother getting a letter,
pretty much,
saying that your boy ain't coming home.
And I'm glad I didn't step on it, because that would not have been pretty. And that's just a small little thing.
If you're not comfortable talking about this situation,
no, I don't mind at all. It's just like, and just generally, I don't like explosions. I love explosions, but I don't like taking the risk of dying to an explosion. And that's just like me personally. I wouldn't go, but that's because it's an area that just seems an obscure risk.
And it's one of the things that I posted up today. I talked about it. I said, look, you know, yes, Slaughter Creek's members are taking the situation seriously. I'm not saying they're not. But given the situation, and it was brought up to me in a conversation today, said you take a risk walking out the front door of your own house. You do. But you live life at an acceptable risk level. You live your life with an acceptable risk level. Putting yourself, I kind of put this as a situation of, the forecaster says you have a 30% chance of being hit with a hurricane. A Cat 5. Do you stay there? Or do you say, you know what, now it's time to go see Uncle Marley, which nobody really likes to hang out with, for the weekend, just to say you did until it's over? You know, the problem is do we err in the side of caution and nothing happens, and then of course the very next day will everybody be pissed off that they moved the location and nothing happened? Or do we not err in a caution and take the risk that something happens? And like I said, the people in Nocturnus are not Nocturnus. Slaughter Creek are doing everything to ensure the safety of the individuals of the event. I'm pretty sure by now that the champion, if the champion had felt that this is not a safe situation any longer, you know, the champion would have already chimed in and said, look, this is not a cool deal. You know, so, you know, this is not a cool option. We need to change this somewhere else. I'm pretty sure that the monarchy at Slaughter Creek would have already stepped up and said, look, dude, because it comes down to situation. If Slaughter Creek doesn't feel safe and they want to close their park for the weekend because of all the situation, and it's a moot point of even holding quals there, because if they say, look, we're not safe, we're not hosting this, then it's over. But it's just a situation of they're doing everything they can in order to ensure it. I have faith in the officership at Slaughter Creek that if they say that you have a reasonable expectation of safety, then guess what? You'll be fine. It's extremely small percentage that something would happen there. You know, because of the situation, I seriously doubt they're going to go out and put a bomb at that park. I don't think so. But notice I said, I don't think so. I didn't say I don't know so. So it's a small, it's a small percentage that anything bad could happen. So it like I said, I'm pretty sure if the officers come back and say, look, guys, you're fine. You're going to be safe. Then so be it. By the way, good night, Memoria. So if that's the case, I'll tell you what, I'll probably still scram down there Sunday to go say hi to everybody and goodbye to everybody before we leave, because we're hoping that Monday morning we're rolling out to Mississippi, which means the show will not air for a little bit until we get set up again. I'll go down there to be able to say goodbye to everybody, but then I got to take off. I got to go to Murky Waters because I have to resign from my position as champion. And that's something I will do in person. I do not want to do that shit online. I think anybody who resigns from an office online and doesn't do it publicly, if they're in office at a park, unless they immediately had to move like at 2 o'clock in the morning and no way to be there. I mean, there's certain circumstances, but if you can be there in person to resign, have the balls to do it in person. And I'm not saying you're not taking it seriously, Killmill. It says, I'll stay silent. Slaughter Creek is taking this seriously and working as the best possible extent to resources to make sure that the park is safe in attendance. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying is I know for a fact you guys are taking it seriously. And then once somebody from the park says, look, you guys, you're good, you're safe, I don't see a problem. Don't see a problem at all. We'll just wait in the coming days. And let's all hope this. Let's all hope this, okay? They catch the bastard before this weekend. Then it's a mute point the whole way around.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's just hope they catch it. Let's all pray that the ATF, the FBI, the Austin PD, Travis County Sheriff's Department, Texas Department of Public Safety, the U.S. Marshal's Office, and the Texas Rangers. I don't think there's any law enforcement left. I'm pretty sure the CIA's probably got some agent running around that nobody knows who it is.
And do we forget the NSA?
And the NSA and Department of Homeland Security, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, you know, and Chuck Norris. Well, if Chuck Norris was involved, this motherfucker had already been spun, kicked to hell. Okay? But, no, like legitimately, Border Patrol's not included. I looked down the list of all agencies included. You think I'm fucking making a joke. There's 15 or 16 different agencies involved in this now.
The alcohol, tobacco.
ATF is spearheading it because it's a bomb. It's in their venue. But, you know, the thing is, I'm certain that all parties involved are taking this very seriously. I'm not thinking they are. They are not. Okay, that's not my thought process at all. You know, so there we go. So I'm pretty sure we'll find out. But let's pray that they catch the bastard and he doesn't off himself. So that way we all get to you all get to take a look at fucking what evil looks like. It's probably a 5'1" guy who never got laid who did it. Guy's a geek, but I mean that's neither here nor there. All right, now let's move on to other things. By the way, folks, in about a month, our wonderful friends to the south and east of us are having an event called Castlemania. Now, you guys have heard my opinion on this. Okay, I don't think it was done intentionally in spite of Spring War. Everybody's claiming that's what it is. However, those people from there that showed up, that you know, from their kingdom, so I don't think they boycott us and decide to run their own event instead. My only issue with this is Castlemania is happening right after WrestleMania. So it kind of sounds like we ran out of ideas for an event. It really does. I want to know who were the people that came together to come up with this name. WrestleMania is in April. Castlemania is in April. You know,
maybe they're just really big wrestling fans, and then they wanted to give props out to Vince McMahon.
What? Okay. Well, that's who came up with the name by himself. Okay. So still, wrestling is just anime for rednecks. It is. Yeah. It is bacon. I watch wrestling all the time. Not gonna lie, I'd have to say one of my dream matches is, of course, Asuka, Charlotte Flair. Love it. Attracted to both of them. But anyway, Castlemania, WrestleMania, is there a link? I'd have to say this one's a little more obvious than 2,000 Facebook bots made in Russia. Okay? I think there's a link between Castlemania and WrestleMania.
I think so. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know the person personally who came up with the name. But WrestleMania is in April. Castlemania is at the end of April. There's a link there. It's kind of odd. I hope it's a fun event, though, and I wish I could go, but I can't.
I heard it's supposed to
mainly because I would buy a luchador mask and black and red luchador mask and run around with a fake title belt because it's freaking Castlemania. It's supposed to be the event of the year.
I think it's supposed to actually be the battle for Hogwarts and whatnot.
I don't care. There still needs to be a ditch battle royal where like people
foam chairs, maybe a
Amtgard legal chairs, an Amtgard legal table where somebody uses a shove and they get shoved through a table.
Oh,
as long as there's somebody wearing camouflage with horn rimmed glasses with tape that somebody says bring out the tables. Yes. In fact, if I could make the trip, if I miraculously win the lottery before Castlemania, okay,
that would be fun to watch.
I think I would do this on like the Friday night or something like that. It's just a gimmick. It would be fucking awesome. Driving through South by Southwest had less traffic. Well, yeah, it's Tuesday. Talk to me again on Thursday about the traffic for South by Southwest, because I got one more weekend of it.
I've always wanted to go to that, but I eventually will.
I don't want to go to South by Southwest. Fuck that. I worked last year in downtown Austin while that shit was going on.
That's why you like park your vehicle.
How am I gonna park a truck, a Kenworth in downtown Austin during South by Southwest? Where the fuck am I gonna put it, genius? Let's stop and think rationality here. Okay, but anyhow, yeah, away from that, that's mundane shit. That's not even Amtgard. But this is what I'm dealing with over here. Okay, so now let's get to the Crystal Groves thing, because the last time I did Yhamish Presents, we talked about the Crystal Groves thing and how they had banned a guy with no absolute explanation. Well, during this past week, Crystal Groves came out with an explanation because they caught a lot of heat from Yhamish Presents. A lot of people started to ask fuck questions after they watched the show. Well, they finally had to deal with it. I don't know if I'm a direct result of this or not, and I think that kingdom fucking hates me by now. But they have announced that they have determined that Tim Grabowski is guilty of COC 1, 2, 3, and I think 6. So 5 has disappeared now. Can anybody remind me what 5 is again? No. He didn't do 4 because he ain't stole shit. No, because they said he bragged about on his podcast on the, Foam Sports or whatever podcast he had, that he punched a person in the face during an event. No, 4 is theft. But I think it's at 1, 2, 3, and 6. Which we all know what 1, 2, and 3 is. And then number 6 is the, oh shit, we don't like you clause. I have my problems with 6. 6 needs to be not so open-ended. Repeating unwillingness to follow the rules. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Jill Godmode. Makushi. Okay, so all but now 4 and 5 are gone. Okay, all the rest of them are there. Okay, so... Okay, that's a different conversation. It's not even involving this. So, they've at least now gone out. Well, I don't have the rule book right in front of me. You know, one of these times when I do the show, I ought to have a rule book somewhere nearby, so that way I can look like I'm trying to follow along. But so now they've come out and said that. That it's 1, 2, 3, and 6. So 4 and 5. 4 was never there before. That was the one that was missing. But now, so we've dumped 5 off of the page. Yeah, that's the way it was on the COM page when I questioned it. It also got Randall to question it. That's a lot of shit to claim one human being is violated in one shot. Okay? That's a lot of crap. And it still kind of feels fishy. Because don't get me wrong, and Tim knows I feel this way. Tim is an asshat. But he never makes the first move. Ever. Somebody else has to do this shit in order to get him to do it. He's very calculated in things. But never all of this shit at one, no, I don't buy it. I just think that I still honestly believe, but I can't see the witness statements or who made the statements. Not you, Tim. No, I would have said Rowan if it was you. But I just don't believe that it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 6. I really don't. But like I said, it did change. It went away from 5 is now gone. So if that's changed, somebody's not backing up what they were originally behind. Some of it's already being dropped off.
Give it a week and it might be just like 1, 2, and 3.
No, it'll end up just being COC 6.
Yep. Yeah.
Because everybody's guilty of COC 6. You're guilty of COC 6. You're guilty of COC 6. And you're guilty of COC... Everybody's guilty of COC 6. It's fucking Oprah Winfrey and Bannock. Which that reference got used about, Spring War. That we're aware of. you know, there's been times where we found out like a month later, oh, this shit happened at this event. What the fuck didn't you tell us? So yeah, so that's happened. I know for a fact there's 2 other investigations going on in the game of Amtgard, but I can't tell you what they are. I caught wind of it, so just be aware that my next show may be a little bit more information in different locations. You know, it's one of those deals, like, I think when we move to Mississippi, we're just going to get in a bunker. So then that way they can suspend me for a COC 6 because I decided to hide in a bunker. Like, he hid in a bunker. We don't like that. It's harassing. COC 6. Like, I'm not even in a fucking kingdom anymore. Who's banning me? The AIBOD? Oh, let's not say that because I'll immediately come out with a post going, we do not sponsor anything that happened on Yhamish Presents. I didn't talk to anybody in it. But I mean, seriously. I mean, because, I mean, come on, a guy got suspended for farting on another human being and got a COC 6, okay? I mean, that's where we're at with this. That's why the COCs need to be rewritten.
Yeah.
And and 6 can't be so damn generalized. This is why you can't use any of this in a court of law as your defense.
COC
period.
6 sounds
because
like
as soon as a judge reads COC 6, he's like, and?
COC
If this was a law in America, we could arrest every human being walking down the street. The judge would even look at it and go, I'm guilty of this shit. Okay?
COC 6, that's basically like the Catch-22.
That's the Catch-22 for everything that's not covered in 1 through 5.
Yeah, that's just...
He breathed wrong. I found it intimidating. He was... You know... Of course, that's what they did to Cox, so never mind. That's what they did up in the north. It's crazy, and it needs to be rewritten. And I'd have to say, if I get to go to Clan this year, I'm guaranteed I'm probably going to bring that new business up. Do we have any new business? Yeah, can we rewrite 6, please? Just saying. Some kingdoms have stretched that one a little thin. They got duct tape on that shit. It ain't Amtgard legal. You can't hit somebody with it. It is longer than the hinged weapon rule. It'll wrap around the neck twice. It'll lock in, choke you to death. You know, we used to have that rule long time ago in Amtgard. That the way you measured whether or not a hinged weapon was too long is if you could take it, wrap it around, and actually interlink the chain. It was too long. They always, but the idiots that knew that their shit was too long always grabbed my neck because it's always been 18.5 inches. And they're like, if it can lock around Yamish's neck, then that shit's too long. Well, no shit. Because then it's, your hinge is longer than my own. It's like from here to here. No shit, that's too long. What? You've got a 30-foot tower shield? Nope, this didn't wrap around Yamish's neck. It's legal. Right in the center of the back. Seriously. I used to tell him, stop using my neck. That's not legal. Look at the length requirement. My neck is wider than the length you're allowed. But it doesn't wrap around your neck. Yeah? Okay. And if we use that same rule, 3/4 y'all's weapons are illegal because of the size of my eye sockets are huge. If it fits in an eye socket, it's illegal. Well, don't use Yhamish's. My God, you could drive a truck in there. The only thing we got that's legal to use on the field is like a 30-foot polearm from Father Thomas. It doesn't fit in the eye socket. What's that? Don't ask questions about him. What is there to ask about the guy? He broke down everything that you could ask a question in the first 30 seconds of the show. Okay, so, all right. So, yeah, I get it now. I got it going through my head. It took a minute. I had to jog it. Thanks to my station manager for jogging my memory on shit. So, let me work with William Squiare, Squirrel, whatever. What brought you to the game? Since let's not talk about all the bullshit in Amtgard. Let's talk about some fun, interesting factoids if they are interesting. What brought you into the game of Amtgard? What made you say these are the people I want to hang out with?
I was at Geek Fest, and I was just walking around, and next thing I know, this loud voice boisterous person, trying to remember his name. Cannot remember his name off the top of my head. He was one of the leaders for House Hedney back in the day. and he was talking about Amtgard, and it just hit me. I was like, I gotta check this out. And then I checked it out, and it looked like fun.
So
and
did you get hit in the balls?
Yes, I did.
That usually hooks them. I don't know why. People were like, well, I came out one day, and I figured, fuck it, I'll give it a try, and I got hit in the nuts, and I've been here ever since. What the fuck? I'll tell you, there's a lot of Amtgard stories like that, how people got started. I mean, that's how I got started. Thank you, Father Tom. I love McCrotch as a last name. It has haunted me ever since. Somebody's like, no, you did that shit to just be goofy. No, I didn't. Father Tom gave me that name. But okay, so you were hooked on it. You went to Geek Fest. So evidently Geek Fest worked. They recruited somebody.
It definitely did.
Dedicated individual that stuck around with this insane asylum the entire single time. What's your favorite class to play?
Wizard.
Man after my own heart. Wasn't my first masterhood, but it was my second and my most favorite class to play. What is your favorite build? Because I can't go into usual, because almost everybody that's on the show is like an officer
I've been
shit like that.
I'm slowly been working on how to perfect a Barbar bomb build that I've been working on.
Barbar bomb thing has become the hot ticket as of late. And
So-
that's where you make them fragile,
Yes.
and
Then you teleport them.
then you teleport them
enemy.
enemy lines.
Because
That
nothing's
is-
worse than a Barbar behind you that the moment you hit him, he goes fight after death.
Yes. And then all chaos ensues. And let me explain something that has been a very common thing that people keep fucking up. All right? And most of us have been catching it. If you're wounded as a barbarian and you go fight after death, you don't get that shit back. So, for those of y'all that are watching the show that are champions of your field, if you got a barbar that gets a leg taken, then suddenly gets killed, and then goes fight after death, stands the fuck up, sit that motherfucker back down. Okay? Alright. Okay, so you're working on that build. My favorite, of course, is being the Spellball Turret. I love Elemental Barrage with Invoker. It's just my favorite thing in the world is just sit there and be an asshat and just start pegging them with shit.
I'm slowly working on getting that done. I actually have the balls, just the foam balls. I just got to get the rest of the cloth covers for them.
So you have the balls, you just don't have them covered yet.
Yes, no. I'm working on getting cloth for that.
And you need to cover your balls. Because the last thing you need is a COC 6 or 3, I think. Is it 3? 3 is that one? Yeah, we don't need exposure of your balls on the field. Cover your balls, people. Remember that. Cover your balls. And your arrows and your weapons and everything else that could come in contact with another person. We don't need exposed things hitting other people, and that results in COCs. Okay? Well, that's what a cover is. Cover is a sword condom. We don't need, unprotected penetration of another human being. That's why we put covers on these things. Okay. What's your least favorite class to play?
Warrior.
Why?
I just don't have the funds to be able to make Warrior effective with getting armor. Armor is really expensive. Warrior, from what I've seen, is the most expensive to start a good build and get everything ready, but Archer is probably the most expensive to maintain.
Oh, yeah, archery is the most expensive to maintain. Just ask Mikushi about her recent thing that happened and how expensive it's going to be to replace that. That's why I've picked Archer as my last class to 6th level. Because at that point, I've run out of options, and I just sit in the back and target people because my fat ass is just tired of running. Period. I've had enough. If you get to me while I got a bow in my hand, fuck it, I'm dead. My ass ain't running no more. I'm done. I mean, hell, when I play Elemental Barrage, I don't really run. So far to replace my baby is between $600 to $800. I don't fucking doubt it. In fact, I was actually in my head estimating you were looking at $1,000. I've seen some bows go out on that field that are $1,500 all the way up to $4,000. I don't know why anybody would spend $4,000 on a bow in a game of Amtgard. I don't know why, but I have seen it. I saw one that had a takedown bow. It came in a case and all kinds of gorgeousness, and it was a beautiful fucking bow. But then they had the paper with it. You know, and I looked at the paper when they weren't paying attention, and I saw that bitch, and that bitch was $3,987.
That's too much.
And I was just like,
Like-
or $3,798, somewhere in that neighborhood. Anyway, yeah, I was just like, I'm never spending that much on a piece of fucking equipment in any hobby I play, unless I'm making money off of that shit. I love the game of Amtgard. I'm not dumping that kind of money unless I'm getting paid to do it. Okay, if I was in one of those elite combat medieval groups that actually make money off of that shit, then yeah, I'm dumping all kinds of fucking money into that shit. But I'm not gonna get paid to do this game, so I'm no. What's that? In this game of Amtgard, okay, you're going out to California for training, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you do know that's Kingdom of Westmarch. How long is your training in California?
I think they said 6 weeks.
6 weeks, and then do you know where you're going from there?
I will probably be traveling back to Texas and then working, doing interviews and everything as I get hired.
Okay, so while you're training, if you want, where's your training being held at?
I believe somewhere near Fort Irwin. Desert. It's gonna be in the desert. That I know for sure.
Okay, you're a little far from Westmarch Park.
Yes.
I have friends out in Westmarch, so if you're starting to look, let me know. I'll get in contact with some people out there and see what they can arrange.
It's a few hours from Pasadena Valley. The Baldwin's out there. That's at Westmarch Park.
Is it? I thought I think might be getting close to Dragon Spine. I thought.
Nope.
Yeah, LA is split I think LA is split in half. I think. Yeah, because I think south of Los Angeles is Dragon Spine, north of Los Angeles is Westmarch. Unless it's changed since the last time I was there. Or if you're Tato.
For the boat.
But anywho, what do you plan? Where's your goal in Amtgard?
I am slowly working my way through getting roses. I want to become a trash knight, actually.
Yes, this is a story he's told us on a regular basis.
Yes, trash knight.
He wants to eventually do. He wants to get his way up through doing trash at every major event he can get to. I mean, you do it well and you enjoy doing it. Okay, listen, we're not saying he's doing this just for the awards.
No.
However, it's become a hallmark of yours, a signature of yours that you do trash. So if you get there, what I love is explain if one day you get your knighthood doing it that way. What do you want your white belt to be?
I want my white belt to actually be made out of a trash bag. A white trash bag.
Okay. Now, you could get a white trash bag, white one, because the drawstrings in them are red. Just saying. Yeah, I got drunk one night when he told me this, and I actually thought this shit through. Okay. What I would actually probably do, what I would do if I was lucky enough to get my leatherworking skills up to solid is, I would make you a leather belt, but I would somehow incorporate trash throughout the inside of the belt with the red trim on it.
Trash bag, black.
Actually, you know what? I would have a messed up ketchup bottle on there, on 2 Heinz 57 ketchup bottles that look messed up, where the red line is the ketchup coming out of it, and then trash throughout the ends of it. I think that would look cool. Instead of doing a trash belt, because I get it. I get the joke of it, kind of. But then I'd be worried that other people would look at it and go, okay, well, now we're not taking it seriously. So I think there's a way that we can incorporate a leather belt to meet up to kind of what you do, and I would love to make it for you if you get there. Sad part is we're talking about years down the road, and I've already got the idea of your belt completely designed in my head. Does that make his white belt trash?
It's trash.
Or his belt white trash? We have been accused of being the white trash of the LARPing community. I will say that. According to the Amtgard Atlas, Fort Irwin is 2.5 hours between Vegas and LA, which are the closest parks I can find. Thank you, Angel. So, I'm going to tell you right now, Vegas has a park, but I will tell you off of experience throughout the years, Vegas runs good for like a year or two and then dies off. And then it comes back, and then it dies off. And then it comes back. I don't know about how they're doing now. I haven't kept up with them. But, you know, you're between Vegas and LA. LA, there's Amtgard in LA. And probably with you being at Fort Irwin, LA is probably going to be the place you probably go to the most.
Pasadena.
So, yeah, Pasadena. I mean, I've lived in California. So, I will tell you, West March are good people. Fun people to hang out with. You have a pretty close, even mix of stick jock and flurb. They're pretty close to being right down the middle. At least they used to be.
You can be sword knight.
You know. No, you can't. I will tell you, at least it was at that time. They don't produce a lot of sword knights because they cancel themselves out in tournaments. I sat there, watched two guys that should be there beat each other in the tournament and knock themselves out of winning a game. And knock themselves out of it. So, especially like my buddy Orko, and it's phenomenal. But unfortunately, he keeps going into tournaments where there's other people miking that March Up Warlord, and they end up canceling each other out. That's what happens. So other than that, do you ever plan on running for office? In a park or a kingdom?
Eventually, I will run for defender.
You're nuts. I'm just going to tell you right now, if you haven't been in the office position, don't go.
No,
it's a never-ending road of misery that you can't get out of.
I will do defender.
Trust
and
me.
Work from there. But
21 years of this game, I've had a total of 6 months off from office.
I've seen
don't get me wrong,
crazy stuff that can happen when you're in a position, and I can do it. It's just I'm not ready as of yet.
Bacon, it made people like us, our hair fall out. I have a mohawk, but if you look at the light just right, there is a whole lot of thin in there. There ain't much holding this mohawk together. If I don't use conditioner, it doesn't look thin. It thickens up just because of how oily it gets. If I use conditioner, it looks like I have hardly any hair on my head. But for some reason, I got this massive amount back here. I want it here, not here. Oh, would be nice. Okay. So you're going to be working. So basically, you are going to work on service to the game, making the game better. So let me caveat that. Let me expand upon that. Sorry, bad choice of words. What can you do other than trash? What can you do to make this game better as a whole? Ooh, he asked a tough question. I mean, you've got 4 years in the game. You should have some idea of something you see in this game that could be made better. His head's about to catch on fire.
That is a very tricky question.
It's not really that tricky, actually. Don't think into it too much. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking into that and thinking about large scale. Don't think large scale. People like me have been in this game forever. We think large scale.
I know that I am constantly, like, anytime I meet a person, I'll start talking about things I do, and they'll notice something, like, they'll notice, like, the foam sword in my bar. What is that? Like, and I'll start talking about Amtgard and all that. And I'm constantly trying to have, hey, you should come check us out. This 2 to 5 at Long Brand France on Rinciere. The day I even was telling a guy, one of the mechanics over at the body shop for my car, telling all about it. And he seemed pretty interested.
Yeah.
So he might be making Sunday. I'm not sure.
So what I'm guessing is based off your comment there, you think maybe recruitment efforts could be improved in this game?
Yes. I personally have constantly trying to get more and more people to come, and so far I've brought in 2 people that come out pretty consistently.
Okay.
One can't currently because of stupidity of his own doing.
Okay.
And the other one, the only reason he didn't make this week is because I missed a ride and I wasn't around.
Well, when you're at Spring War, you can't exactly leave Spring War to give a guy a ride to the park.
That's very true.
You know, and that does make it a little difficult. Okay, so, all right, so then let me ask you this question, because you've got less than a decade in. Okay. When you were an outsider coming into the game, say your first time out, what was something you noticed that maybe it could be improved upon. Because that seems to be our hard point. We can find a way to always get... We can find a way to get people who role play and do other shit that's closely related somehow to this. But a person who's never done foam stick fighting ever, what is something this game could do to retain those kinds of people that have a complete fresh perspective to this whole operation? I have no idea why I suddenly came up with tough questions. I didn't even look at your question, Angel, and it kind of works right along with what I just asked him. Like, Yhamish picks tonight of all nights to ask the hard shit. Isn't it fun watching somebody really think about it?
What would your answer be?
I don't know if I can speak about it, from an outside perspective. And the only reason why I say that is because I started in the SCA at the age of 16. So, it's kind of like I don't really have much of an outside perspective to any of this. I was going to get to that next question, that as my next question. Bacon. But as an outsider, when you came to your first day at Park, what was something that you saw that could be that gave you just a momentary moment of pause, but then you just went about being a part of the game?
Garb. Like, that's one thing I've noticed is, like...
That's a damn good point.
Garb, for me...
That was a big complaint at Spring War.
I mean, it took me forever to actually get Garb, but it just, like... I do other LARPs. Particularly, I do another LARP called Sovereign Scrolls, and when you're in that, you are your character 24/7. They try to limit they try to limit cell phone use and out of game talk because you're immersed. You're trying to be there.
So it's a full immersion LARP.
Yes.
Okay.
Which for me is, I mean, Amtgard will never be able to do that. I mean, if we manage to do that, that would be really hella impressive. But I don't see it happening. I really don't.
I know people have tried in the game of Amtgard to try to pull full immersion weekends, and they've started off with a bang for the first like 7-8 hours, but then it fades off real fast. The problem is if you do a full immersion LARP, and I apologize to anybody like myself that can be a raging alcoholic at times. If you do a full immersion LARP, the only way to really pull it off, alcohol cannot be in the equation at the event. It can't. Because once you get lucid enough with alcohol, you become yourself. And you lose the ambiance. Now, if your I know some people are like, well, my character is an alcoholic. Yeah, so is everybody else. It's like, I'm a pirate. No shit. The line is over to the left. Good luck finding the end of it. Okay, so you'd like this. So basically, you'd like what I'm getting here, and I'm going to draw some conclusions off what you said is people in Garb, which was a complaint of Spring War. There was people out there trying to play class with a Garb on. I heard that. Okay, so Garb, which something I've pushed forever. I lead by example on that complaint because very rare occasion will you ever see me without Garb on, even if it's a fighter practice. It is an extremely rare day if you find me on the field without Garb. And I had Garb on before I had Garb the first day I showed up to Amtgard. Then again I started in the SCA before I came here. So of course I already the SCA trying to do anything without wearing Garb. Let's see how far you make it. And sometimes I think that we should have not the strict guidelines of what Garb you can wear as the SCA, but their rules as your ass ain't fucking participating without it kind of rules. I would not be overly hurt if Amtgard went to a much stricter regulation of Garb where it was required. Because I think peasant class just gives people excuses to be an asshat. Because you'll see people been in the game for 15 years and say, nope, I'm not wearing garb today, so I just play peasant. No, fuck you, sit down. And in all honesty, that's really seriously how I feel sometimes with people that've been in the game for a while. I get it if you're new and you've never done this shit before and you don't have garb. I get that. You want to come out, you want to give it a try. It's just like test driving a car. How many people go on a line and go, I want that car right now, let's get the fucking paperwork.
I don't. Like, if I'm looking at cars, I'm going to test drive it.
You want to take the car for a ride.
Handles, like something. Like
because every car is different. You may have owned that car 6 times. Each one of them is different somehow. Okay? So, I would like to see Amtgard kind of start to push that way, going, no, your ass doesn't get to go on the field unless you just showed up that day. Here's the time frame. Because this is how it was at my park in Nevada. Every park I've ever started, here's your time frame. After that, dude, you got to get some garb. And there's tons of people in this game that can help you get garb. Okay, it's not like you walk around and never have garb. The opportunity's there. I mean, shit, we have people trying to make you garb.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'll put something together. Get you garb. Okay. What I get mad about is when you got somebody that's been in the game for a while and decide today I want to be an asshat and just fucking play peasant.
I mean, the first couple of days I got back from I think it was Korea or something, I was like, I don't have my garb with me. It's down here.
I get that.
Shit happens.
It's like one guy that came out to Murky Waters a couple weeks ago. He just got back from Korea. Shit's still in storage he hasn't gotten to yet. So he's out there on the field in jeans and a t-shirt. Okay, cool. You showed up. All right, great. There's special circumstances. But when somebody shows up and there's no reason not to have they have garb and there's no reason, but they say, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna play Pleasant Glass today. No, those people should sit the fuck down. It's like, no, you signed in, cool. Thanks for the number. Go hang out with people, don't fight. There should be something there. My buddy Jinx is over there. By the second week, got a fucking bathrobe, and my God, I'm a wizard, and I'm going to look it. Speaking of, I need to get some carb. Okay, so my next question that Bacon asked, and other people, what do you think Amtgard could do better to retain people and keep people interested in the game?
One thing that there's weeks where I just don't go to park because I look at the Facebook pages and I'm like, this is the drama and the dumpster fires piss me off to the point where, like, you know what? I'm just not going to go this week. It's not worth it. It's not worth... Because when I first joined Murky Waters, it felt like a family. Like, everyone out there felt like a family member, and it felt like I was just going to hang out with an extended family. Mm-hmm. And then over time, bullshit happens. Other people leave because of bullshit happening. And it's just like, there's days when I go out there and it just feels more like I'm going right into work, but a different job.
Mm. Well, I will go on record by saying this right now. When social media first hit, yes, I'm that old. When I first joined Amtgard, we were still stealing AOL. Well, you weren't stealing AOL discs from Walmart. They gave them to you for free. And you got like 30 hours for free using AOL. You just had to, I think I have like 57 different Yhamish 0000000001, whatever. But how you communicated back and forth using the internet, email, or a AOL chat room.
I remember this.
But I think the worst thing that ever happened to the game of Amtgard, and some of the young people, and Yahoo groups, and some of you young people would disagree with me wholeheartedly, is I believe one of the worst things that ever happened to the game of Amtgard is Facebook, period. Because it took a lot of people who, and I know this is going to sound cruel, and I'm not meaning it to sound cruel, but it took a bunch of people who don't have the balls to call somebody an asshat to their face and gave him the ability to hide behind a keyboard to cause all kinds of fucking problems. Thank you, keyboard cowboys. It's not used for its intended purposes. If Amtgard used Facebook for its intended purposes, it would be the perfect fucking tool in the world. Because within seconds, we could know what's going on, and we could have a resolution to what's going on. But Facebook has turned into the shitstorm that has done more damage to the game of Amtgard than ever before. It was so much easier when once a month you got an email from the Kingdom Prime Minister saying this shit for the month. You went to your park, you printed that shit out, you stacked this fucking thick, and you sat down with the people it affected, and only the people it affected, and you went through it with them, and some people were, when the fuck is the next event? Was all they cared about. When's the next event? When's the next tournament? When's this? Now it's turned into, well, let's see whose fucking life we can destroy this day. You know, and that's what it's turned into. I've seen people that have been dedicated to this game for 30 years rage quit the game because of asshats that have been playing the game for 6 months on social media. Because they're like, I'm just not going to fucking deal with it. Who are you for me to prove my worth to you? You know? And I seriously think social media was the worst fucking disaster that ever happened. It started off and as Facebook hit and everybody in Amtgard was like, oh, this is going to be great. Instant communication with anybody in the game within seconds. No longer having to pick up the phone and hoping to answer or return your call. No longer sending an email and hope to God they remembered their password today. It was within seconds, but it immediately turned into, let's see whose life we can destroy today. So, yeah, drama is a big problem, and the drama affects it. And we've had drama in the past, but the dumpster fires weren't as bad. You know, back in the day, I would not be talking about shit they've done in Crystal Groves. If Crystal Groves existed back before Facebook. Okay? I wouldn't be talking about their suspensions and the kind of shanky ways they do it. At all. But because of Facebook, here we are. People watching this show, half of them would not know it's there if it wasn't for the fact that we put it all over Facebook. It helps us get word out to people to talk about shit. But a lot of people use it for very negative means. Drama, yes, drama is a bad thing. We used to have a rule in this kingdom. Father Thomas used to institute it. That look, while we're out on the field, we ain't talking about politics. If we're out doing this, well, politics are not going to happen. You want to talk about politics? After we're done for the fighting has ceased for the day, then we could sit off to the sidelines and bullshit about politics and fucking all kinds of weird shit all day long. Okay? That used to be a thing. And I used to use it that used to be the thing rule I had in my parks. Like, look, well, I want to talk about this shit that y'all are deciding to do in the office. As soon as we're done with the fighting for the day, sit down with you all night long. We'll sit here until the Parks and Recs department kicks us out. I don't care. And so, shit like that may be something we should look to in the future. Saying, hey, look, okay, well, on Sunday when we go out to stick fight, as soon as Leon's called on the first game, until we've closed it off. So retention. So for you, drama is the big retention killer. And I would agree. I think retention is it's big killers, drama. I think a lot of the powers that be that are in charge of things really pour more gasoline on that fire than needs to be and don't handle it appropriately. You can ask our own king. You can ask the king before him. Any king that I've ever been involved with. When they have not handled it properly, I swear to God, when their phone rings, they must think, oh, great, Father Yhamish is... I almost pulled a crispy and called myself Yhamish. It's because he's in the chat room now. But they must see the phone ring and realize, oh, shit, Dad is calling to say, hey, y'all fucked this one up. And I'm not without error either. When I was king, I made fucking mistakes. You know, it happens. But at least I caught it quickly and I was like, okay, I fucked this one up. But Yeah, I agree with you that I think drama is the huge killer of retention, and I think that if we could find a way, which is impossible, if we could but we could find a way to bring it down. At least bring it down to a minimum. You're still going to have asshats who think that their idiotic opinion means more than rational opinions, but it happens.
I mean, it's like the people that think the Earth is flat.
Angel's correct, though. Another issue with Facebook is people want immediate resolution. You can't do that.
No.
It takes time.
You have to give... You got to give people, okay, this is the situation this person's saying's happened, this person's happened. Let's analyze the information. Let's get some witness statements or something. You can't just jump to the gun.
No, you can't be like Rising Winds and immediately suspend somebody and realize, oh, fuck. Well, no, it was Wetlands that did that. No, was it Wetlands that did that shit? Where they immediately jumped on suspending somebody and we called them on their bullshit? Yeah, it was Wetlands. No, one Crystal Gross. Who changed their wording because of us?
EH.
Oh, Emerald Hills. They're the example of a kingdom that jumped immediately on something and we called them on their shit going, doesn't work that way. So immediate resolution it's not possible no matter what kind of social media and how fast you can get the information. You can't make a decision in a minute. I mean, unless you're the monarch sitting there and you watch the guy haul off for no reason and lay out the other guy, then you can have an immediate resolution. You are a witness to the fact. Okay. But in most situations, you're not. So you have to take everybody's report of everything going in, and you have to go through it, and then you have to decide. This is a decision you make in 5 fucking minutes. And Angel is absolutely correct. People want immediate resolution. Not fucking possible.
No, it's not.
100%
not.
So that's the problem is today's day and age where media is immediate and it's 24-hour news. Everybody thinks they're going to know immediately. No, you won't. No, you won't. There's shit we're finding out that happened fucking 3 years ago that we didn't have all the details about. All right, so I can't really think of much else right at this time. And we've been going at this for a good hour and 30 minutes now. A little bit over. Is there anybody in the chat room who would like to ask William Squiare, Squirrel, Squirrely, whatever, any questions, before we call this a day? I do, and I'll have a question for everybody in the chat room, even though it is already 10:30. But I did have a request from somebody about something, and I'm going to throw it at you guys here in a minute. Does anybody have any questions for William Squiare, Squirrely, Squiggy? Anything at all before we get going? Because otherwise, I'm pretty much calling this show a wrap. I'm giving it the collective thought process that is possibly going on right now behind people's. Can we watch a YouTube video? Yes, if anybody paid attention to memes, gifs of things unmodded on that game we play on the weekends, I made it very evidently clear about certain individuals that were people were just immediately popping up saying, "Hey, I volunteer to sweep for bombs." Okay, I love y'all to death, but I've seen y'all in your natural activities over 21 years. And I cannot lie. The scene from Armageddon, when they were making their demands before they would do this, and the general sat there and said, "The fate of the world is in the hands of a bunch of retards I wouldn't trust with a potato gun." Kind of came to mind. I don't trust myself with a potato gun, okay? I've already hurt myself once with one. And I had one of them jobs, you know what I'm saying? But I volunteer to laugh when someone sweeps for bombs based on Google advice. Because I wanted to open this show with, and ladies and gentlemen, just to make you aware, the #1 trending topic on YouTube is how to sweep for bombs. I couldn't help it because I don't trust myself with the potato gun, okay? So if anybody's like, well, I'm insulted by this. No, I don't trust myself with the potato gun. I had, the last time I built one, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to tell you this little side note in case anybody has any questions for you, give them still a little bit moment to ask.
I think I do have one.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
What ask?
Ronan, I believe, asked why the Saracens. I was looking into two fighting companies, actually, the Saracens and Annihilus. I put out,
There's a huge difference between the two.
You got a very good point there. I have definitely seen the difference between the two. But one of the reasons I chose those two is last Spring War, actually. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was last Spring War. It might have been an event sometime last year. Can't remember. A lot of drinking and stuff's happened since then. But sometime...
Contrary to popular belief, and the Annihilus will tell you the same thing as well. We are an Amtgard fighting company. We are not a drinking organization.
But yeah, so...
That's the professional answer.
One of the things that I always say when I make any decision in Amtgard, I make it based on what my character would do. What I would do is myself. Anything I do because that is what I'm going to do as a kid.
Why did Anything I Do It For You by Bryan Adams just started playing in my song? I can't fucking help it, okay?
So, being as that is, the only two fighting companies at the event that I decided to choose between the two that were actually went out there and were nice to me and presented themselves in a presentable way was the Annihilus and Saracens. Everyone else I didn't either interact with or I just had a bad taste in my mouth from them.
Can we not talk about being at an event and something leaving a bad taste in my mouth? We don't need to go down that road.
So, I mean...
I wasn't talking about your experience. I'm just, anytime somebody says, I was at this event, I had a bad taste in my mouth, and this is why, I don't need to know anymore. Okay, so go ahead.
So, I put my, I'm looking into maybe joining you. I sent out to both of them, talked to several people in both of them. And then at that point, I was like, okay, I'm going to show best I can be. And eventually, one of the two companies is going to realize maybe this guy is good enough for us. And I put my intent out there, and when I join a company, I'm going to be that company no matter what, to my character. Even if I get kicked out, I will never join another company. That is one of my things. Once I join the Saracens, I'm either a Saracen or I'm nothing.
Some people would tell you pretty much being a Saracen, you just equals the same thing. I've heard that more than once. I made that reference years ago. I said, I'm either a Saracen or I'm nothing. And they're like, is there a difference? I was like, smart ass. You got me on that one. I did not have a backup ready. I went into that conflict with 5 guys versus an army. I did not have backup. But anyway, okay. I was going to say something and I forgot what it was now. Shit. No, I was saying something and then you said you had a question. Now I don't remember what it was going to be. YouTube sweeping? What? I already talked about that.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about before.
Oh, no, I know I was talking about the whole YouTube. You can't get your advice from fucking YouTube on how to save your life. Okay. It doesn't work that way. I don't fucking remember what it was now. I was on something, and...
Oh, YouTube video for meme skips and shit.
No, we already covered that, too. That was before all that. I was in the process of saying something while I was waiting for people to, come up with any questions. And
Oh, that they didn't have.
yes, Crispy, this is on YouTube.
It was.
I don't remember.
If they didn't have any questions, then you wrap it up and have a question for them.
Yeah, pretty much. So, if you had a question for us? No. I don't think so. It was not evidently it was not an important one. Okay, so I do have that question. Okay, so before we wrap this up tonight, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me say this. If you were out in the field and something looks fishy, it's either somebody's girlfriend who you should not be hitting on, or it could be a bomb. Either or, contact 911. Well, if it's a fishy girlfriend, maybe not. Don't try to be a hero or take one for the team. Either one could result in death. Nor should you go on YouTube and decide on what the best course of action is. Do not. Okay. Or it's a fish. It could be a fish. And I will tell you that if you get fish and it comes from a gas station, be expecting some problems. I've done this. It's not a good life choice. However, understand something. We all know that that we have things going on in this game, and we all know that there's issues, but we don't need to dwell on the issues. We need to celebrate people like this guy right here, who made a mistake, walked to the wrong end of Geek Fest, and ended up hooked in this game. We need to keep people like that. People who got lost. You laugh. I actually have kept 2 different people in this game. They still play today because they were out for a walk and turned down the wrong street. You laugh, but it's true. All right? But we need to have good time and enjoy company and just have an overall blast. You want to fix what's going on in this game? Find a way to make it fun for every single body, not just fun for you. Selfishness is what ruins this game. And when people are selfish, they bring drama. And with drama brings hatred. With hatred breeds anger. And then you go to the dark side and you become a Corsair. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, now that I've made a fighting company pissed off at another Saracen again. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, some people have asked, because we are moving to Mississippi, myself and Raj, if we're going to do another Raj and Rich show before we leave. We did decide that we are going to do another one. However, given the circumstance and everything that's going on, I didn't know if you guys wanted us to do a follow-up show or you wanted us to wait until like tomorrow or Thursday to do a Raj and Rich show when everybody can go to sleep. Shut up. It's happening before we go to Mississippi. Yes, Miranda does bring hatred. Hatred leads to anger, and anger leads to the dark side, which the dark side is the Corsairs. So there you go. So thank you for clarifying. So I just want to know if you guys want to follow up with the show. It is 10:46. I'm not quite sure how that was going. Thought you were going to have a party for your moving show. We were talking about that, some barbecue, some beer. We were talking about doing a show like some kind of show like Saturday night before we have to pack all this shit that's in this room up and put it in the truck. No, she's not. Before we put it in a truck, because Sunday night we will not be doing a show because I want to leave early Monday morning for Mississippi. So possibly Saturday night, maybe we could do a going away show where anybody and everybody who wants to be on a fucking show with us at any point ever wanted to can come to the house and be on a fucking show. We really don't care. At that point, it's literally, there is no fucking topics. It's fucking random people. Hey, tell us what you think. But the thing is, I'll be there in 4 hours. Fuck it. Okay. There you go. But anyhow, so I'm pretty sure we're not going to do a show after this because we're coming up on 11 and it would be kind of stupid. People would be dozing off on us. So, I'll tell you what, Wednesday or Thursday night, what do you guys in the chat room think about Raj and Rich show? We'll talk about the bombings in Austin, little boy who got pissed off at his sister for taking the good control of the game system and blew her fucking brains out. A bridge that's killed people. Fucking bridges, they're on the attack again. In Florida? There's a fucking shock. And shit like this. So Wednesday or Thursday. So tomorrow night or Thursday night. Let us know when you want us to do the show. Shut up. They do. Otherwise, people wouldn't have fucking asked.
Nobody say shit.
No, that's because I'm stretching this shit out. You gotta remember, there's a delay. Okay. I'm going back to my box and playing WoW. Either works, but if you need Harlow and Have, we'll need advance warning. Tomorrow. So far, tomorrow. Bacon wants to see Raj. Who's in the background? Fucking all kinds of people in the background. By the way, our friend Sherry is in the background. She's been getting us information on fucking stupid news. that we need to know. It's not stupid. I didn't say you were stupid. Trust me, we love news that's fucking off the hook.
Like today.
You know, a bridge that kills people. I'm fucking wanting all over that story. I'm not a dude. No, my fucking brain. That was disgusting. The reference that just popped in my head was so wrong. So anyway, Miranda, we can take over and do a new show together. Well, I mean, if you want, you could do one with Miranda. Just tell her to keep her voice at a somewhat low level because once she gets going, she gets screechy. And I watch my microphone go red every time. But I got Cho shot Australian woman job. What? What the hell? Anyway, so it looks like then tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, because only one person gave us a date. So tomorrow you will have a new edition of the Raj and Rich Show. So there you go. So folks, tomorrow we're doing the Raj and Rich Show.
Or I can just put a poll and see what people.
No, we're not gonna do a damn poll because you're worse than fucking CNN and their rigged shit. You always ask something stupid, and then people are like, "Well, I don't know if I can deal with it." All right, so tomorrow night there's gonna be a Raj and Rich Show for everybody and ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to William Squiare, Squirrels, Squiggies, Squiggity, for coming out. It's a running joke in the house. Which way do we call him? Squire, whatever. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for him, everybody in the studio, and everybody in the game of Amtgard watching out there, and those of you currently writing my bands in every kingdom there is. I want to say goodnight. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which doesn't leave you a huge room for error, and will probably get you one of the COCs. Other than that, you guys have yourselves a wonderful night. Stay safe out there. Be strong. Love one another. Don't hate each other. And we'll catch you on the other side. All right, for everybody here, I am Squire, Baronet, Yhamish McCrotch, Master Rose, saying good night.